Okay. Welcome to this interview on the Lincolnshire New Folk Movement channel. This episode, I'm talking to, well, I always call her Belle Blue, but that's not actually your name, is it?
No, my real name is Ruth, but for musical purposes, my band is Belle and the Woodland Sounds. Loads of transitions, Jake.
I know, yeah. I kind of think, yeah, I always think of you as Belle Blue because we've not actually met very often, have we, in real life? Sort of have a chat and sort of like, well, we'll talk a bit more about that, about your events, your fireside events, bonfire events. But yeah, so I'm going to carry on calling you Belle because I feel like it'd be weird for me now to start calling you Ruth. But yeah, it is Ruth. So Belle, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from and like your musical background and what sort of things you play. There's a clue in the picture there.
Yeah, no, well, I'm just remembering the gigs that I've ever come to that you've organised, and you've organised always the really good ones in Louth, haven't you? The Bull Ring one was the recent one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you organised the gigs that were in Louth Town Centre, didn't you? You've been doing it for a long time, haven't you, Jake? But I think we've probably been doing music around the same times, I think, haven't we, for the last, I don't know how many years, but I started off doing gigs at Alchemy Festival. Do you remember Alchemy Festival that was run by Toby in Coningsby? Yeah, that was the most sort of first big sort of gig that was like a festival space. And then from then I just carried on doing lots of little festival slots, you know, because it fitted in around our lifestyle really. So I went to Northern Green Gathering and I'm just trying to think, CFAB Festival, Lindu Festival, sort of lots of gatherings like that really. But I did a vinyl record originally, which is why you remember Belle Blue, isn't it? Because we had a vinyl record out.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was the first sort of proper record. And then the next one I did was the recent one, which was the Forest Floors one, which has got about 11 songs, I think. It's quite a lot of songs in that one, and some gamelan music as well.
Because you started off
but
with
the plan
guitar,
was
didn't you? And with guitar, wasn't it? So,
yeah, that's right. Well, piano and guitar. Yeah, because the vinyl record, all the music was written on piano, and it was all recorded by a sound engineer. But when I started doing festivals, it's impossible to take a piano with you. So I ended up taking a guitar. It's a lot easier to take around than a massive piano, and most venues don't really have one. So I had to start playing guitar really. But then I sort of switched to harp, and I started off Celtic harp, and that's a really little wooden one. But over the summer I got this one, from a lady. She didn't really know the value of the harp. I think I managed to get a good deal from Sheffield. But yeah, this has been amazing to play, and I would never go back to guitar now. Well, I love all instruments. How can you choose an instrument? It's impossible. But the most recent instrument I bought actually was a banjo. I got that from a music room. Do you know a little banjo?
Yeah, I used to have a banjo.
Yeah, and it's wicked. I've got some friends.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was listening to you.
Yeah.
But no, that's it really.
So has the harp got a name? Because I think I would give a name to an object like that.
Yeah. Well, a couple of my friends, we were talking about this, that it needed a harp, and I've called her Cirque. Do you know who Cirque is?
Yeah.
I think you pronounce it differently actually. I think it might be Kirk.
Yeah, Circe.
Yeah, she's like Cirque. Yeah, she's like she's a Roman goddess. Yeah, and basically she's a witch, and Zeus is quite scared of her because she's got all of these magical powers. But she's the one that's in Jason of the Argonauts, and she has her own little island, and she does lots of herbal witchcrafty things, and she's quite an independent lady, so I quite like her. So that's why she's called Cirque.
That's a good name for a harp. Yeah, that is a good name for a harp. So what have you been working on recently then? So during lockdown, obviously you got yourself a harp and doing that, and I know we've got a video at the end.
I think I've been doing the same as you, Jake. I've been just doing online things and live streams and stuff like that. So you did the Skinner and Twitch, didn't you? That Skinner and Twitch show. And I did Into the Wild Festival, which is run by Deja Vu. That's his nickname. He does lots of meditation poetry from Brighton. But he organised a festival, I think it was Samhain, so it was autumn equinox time. And so I played... it was a half-an-hour live set from the yurt, and they had loads of sort of healers, spiritual things, and sort of that kind of sound of music, sound healing, very sort of out there kind of music. But I did like a half-an-hour set for them. And then I've recently got involved with the Leadenham music scene. I don't know if you know someone called Tom Lane. He's been going for like years, and he's just a really talented musician. But he organises lots of the folk things at the George pub in Leadenham. And he's got a really big folk scene going on. So although like there's lots of like musicians that are having to deal with lockdown and playing at home and everything, he's sort of very well, he's very keen to get everyone involved in doing regular stuff once a month at the George, and he organises like a big folk festival as well once a year. Yeah, so local stuff as well as online stuff. It's the same for all of us, isn't it, really? We're just trying to get on and do gigs, aren't we?
Yeah, we're kind of clamouring for it. I think that Tom Hall's a good one. I'll maybe try and talk to him on one of these at some point. I think you're right that we're all desperate to get back out and actually playing with people. But I've been so impressed with sort of the work that you've done. You've transitioned to that virtual kind of evenings that you've been putting together really much better than I have. and I've been really impressed with that. So sort of like talk me through or just explain to everybody what goes on with these bonfires. Like what's your sort of idea behind those virtual bonfires that you've had?
Okay, so the idea behind the bonfires is that before lockdown happened, I was really hoping to have more acoustic sessions out in the woods and get lots of folk musicians to play around the bonfire. I was inspired by Sam Lee that does the Singing with Nightingales in Sussex, because they do sort of a similar outdoor thing and sing with the birds in the woodlands. So I thought it'd be nice to do a regular thing, but then lockdown suddenly happened. And I thought, oh no, we're not going to be able to physically get together outside in the woods and have a bonfire and play music. So it started to become an online thing. And I think we started doing it like a monthly thing, and then it got to be a regular weekly thing. And I think we did it for probably 6 months every week, which is quite a lot, isn't it? And I think all the musicians that put work in, I can never believe what they send in. They have such high standards. So some of the videos are just, they must take hours on them, and just really talented musicians, you know. I mean, sometimes we have like 22 musicians at a time that download all their music and sound files and things like that, and it's quite overwhelming, the quality. I'm really, really happy to see people creating, especially in a time like lockdown when everyone's got all their gigs on hold and they can't do anything creative. So it's just been an absolute joy to see everybody's work and people coming together. I couldn't believe really the quality of work that comes in on a Friday night.
They have been.
But now the next one is I think Burns night.
Is what? Or Burns night? Yes, yeah. Which I need to try and I think they have been really amazing. Those yeah, I need to try and get something. Because I was saying this. I sent you a message over Christmas, I think. Saying it. Those events have really helped me keep motivated. And it's things like that I think, you know, we've had some real kind of champions and heroes come out, I think, in the music scene over this lockdown. For me, you're definitely one of those that's kind of kept that spirit alive of that collaboration and sharing, and a space where people can come together, and like the poetry, and there's been people do DJ sets and stuff like that. So I've been, yeah, it's been really, really impressive. So on a different tack then, if you could have, you're going to play at your perfect festival, so who would your three, you're headlining obviously, so who would your three support acts be?
Support acts?
Yeah.
More likely I'd be supporting them. Probably. But oh God, that's really difficult. Oh my God, I couldn't choose three because it's just unfair. There's too many good musicians out there. I think Jake, you would definitely be one of them.
Yes.
Definitely Jake. And you know, Jack FH, he's really talented as well. Yes. If you've seen with his mandolin.
Yeah.
Really clever. Yeah, and oh God. Probably Caroline and Steve, you know, that do Siren.
Yeah, love Siren.
Yeah, because they're all local folk musicians, aren't they?
Yeah. I would have thought you'd gone for, like, you know, sort of maybe Joan Baez or anybody like that, but I feel very honoured you've gone for us. Thank you.
No, it's got to be local folk musicians, Jake, you know, because we all work so hard. And yeah, you know, the quality that comes from Lincolnshire is every bit as good as London. Do you know, I see like musicians, there's a couple of musicians that send in their work from Sussex, and they're like exceptional, really, really talented musicians. But I think Lincolnshire's folk scene is way up there. Do you know, it's just super, super talent in Lincolnshire. I'm so impressed with what I see on bonfire sessions and the quality of sound and work. Do you know, we're definitely, you know, it's a new folk scene, definitely. I think really good stuff out in Lincolnshire.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I kept thinking that for ages, that people think that cities are these creative hubs, and they are, you know, there is, you know, creative, but the work that comes out of rural areas like Lincolnshire, I think, and Lincolnshire especially, obviously, because we know about that, I do think there is something exceptional, and I think it is going on right now, you know, so that is sort of one of the things I wanted to try and show really with these videos, because until you start collecting it all together like you've done with your bonfires, it's sometimes easy to miss how much is going on because they're remote. You know, these things are happening remote, so they're happening perhaps all the time, and they've reached an awful large number of people, but they're quite low key. So yeah, I completely agree with that. I think we're very lucky to be where we are. Yeah.
Definitely. Right. When I was when I was at art college in London, I used to go down to Camden Underground and see all the bands there. I used to go and see Sonic Youth and some of the bands that used to support Nirvana. There was really amazing music scene in Camden Underworld, Camden Underground. And I always thought when I came back to Lincoln that the local musicians in Lincolnshire were definitely on a par with all of that. And I don't know whether that's because it being so remote and so rural sometimes, people feel they have to work a little bit extra hard because they're sort of maybe not connected up to a bigger music scene. But I think that people really work hard at their musicianship in Lincolnshire, and they really, really concentrate on their songwriting. And they, yeah, I don't know whether it's to do with the fact that it is a rural space, you know, and that people do just put that extra time in. But definitely it's sort of on a par with things that I used to see in London all the time. I always used to think Lincoln scene was a really good scene. Yeah, it's buzzing, I think.
Well, it will be once we can leave our houses again. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I completely agree with you there. I'm going to do some quick fire questions then for you. Okay, so it's just whatever is the right answer for you is the right answer. All right, are you ready? Okay, so number one. Too late, it's happening. Would you rather be in space or in the deep ocean? And alive, obviously.
Well, oh, that's a really hard question. I think probably space. Yeah, there's too
Space.
many amazing galaxies out there. Yeah.
You could fly through space for a long time, couldn't you? That would be pretty good. Yeah, it's a good choice. What is my partner came up with this one? What's the last thing you Googled?
What? John Dee. Yeah, John Dee, who was a rector at Lebanon, because he's a magician and an astrologer, scientist and mathematician. He's a dude, absolutely amazing man. Yeah, so I was Googling John Dee. That was the last thing.
Now, we did have a little chat before we started recording, and I said, oh, we should have saved that for the interview. So can you tell us the particularly amazing fact about John Dee?
Yeah, he was personal advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, and he used to scry and talk to the angels to find out like information for court. And but they used to send each other secret coded messages, and he was the original 007. That's what he signed his letters as. So he was the original James Bond. Yeah, and he lived in Lebanon. Yeah, he was the rector around the corner.
The original James
Yeah,
Bond.
I feel honoured to be in the same space.
It's really good. It's such a
Yeah.
good fact, that. Yeah, I hope people watch this video. Otherwise, they're going to live their life without that fact, and they'll be all the worse for it. Right. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
A morning person, definitely, because I love the bird song. So, although unless I don't put my alarm on, then I'm not a morning person.
That's a good answer. What is your favourite hot drink?
Hot drink?
Yeah.
Oh, it must be mulled wine at winter solstice.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, how do you take that? Do you have like all the fruit in it?
Yeah, all the spices, all the clementine, all the wine, and it's yeah, best to drink it out in the woods at the winter solstice. That's the perfect thing. Preferably with a real druid. Yeah.
Preferably, if one's available. Yeah, it's always good to have it with.
Yeah.
That's very good. Okay, last one. Might be a bit personal, so feel free to ignore it. How tall are you?
Oh, that's telling. I'm actually 5'10".
Okay. Good height.
Because when I was studying fashion, I used to do all the catwalks because I was tall enough for the clothes.
Very good. Right, well, thank you ever so much for taking some time this morning to talk to me about / Ruth. It's actually really good to properly speak to you and see see the harp. I forgot what it's called. I can't remember. There we go. That's so cool.
Dirk.
Dirk, that's it. It's like I'm like this with I've forgotten the name of it altogether now. It's a Spanish sausage, chorizo. I don't know if it's chorizo or chorizo or I can't pronounce it. Basically, I keep getting told and I can't remember. Yeah.
Chorizo.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is chorizo. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so Cirque is going to be the same for me. I think I'm not going to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know the name. Yeah. But anyway, thanks very much for talking to me, Belle. And do you want to tell us a little bit about the song you've sent in for us? And it's got an amazing video, really fantastic video.
I just wanted to say thank you, Jake, for just all the work that you're doing for like musicians. I think you're doing an amazing job, just keeping everybody working together in lockdown. But the video is the animation is by my friend Esme, and she is the most amazing artist. She just she made this video completely by hand. She painted it all herself. She's just super talented, Esme, and she's a really good musician as well. But the video is for the song Metamorphosis, and that's all about it's about transforming into woodland creatures. So it is a little bit witchcrafty, I suppose, because it's the idea that you know, that you would transform into woodland hare or a fox or something, you know. So that's what the song is about. It's about changing into creatures, and it's inspired by medieval poetry. Yeah, so that's what it's about.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much then, Belle, and I'll put the video on after this. You take care, have a good morning, enjoy some mulled wine.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Bye.
I'm stag, his great heart beats as my arm. I am hare and I will be fleet of foot. I am kestrel and my eyes be sharp at dusk. I am magpie, one for sorrow, two for joy. I am singer of the leaves and of the trees. I am bringer of the firewood, and with ease take your troubles into my hands, cast them to the four winds of distant lands.